Which of college lacrosse's biggest stars will take home this year's Tewaaraton Award? What's up, everyone? I'm Kevin Boylard, and today I'm breaking down a few players who I believe are the top candidates for what's commonly referred to as the Heisman of lacrosse. The 2022 Tewaaraton watch list was recently released, and it featured like 50 names, so I'm going to trim it down to just 5 who I think will be the top players in the country this season. Let's get it started with someone who's no stranger to this award. Chris Gray was a Tewaaraton finalist last year after putting up 91 points for the Tar Heels, second most in the nation behind the eventual award winner Maryland's Jared Bernhardt. When you turn on the Chris Gray film, the first thing you notice is how sudden each of his movements are. He's not only quick on his feet, but his stick work is lightning quick too. Gray isn't going to overpower defenders, he's a $170 dripping wet. His outside shot isn't a howitzer, but he's an effective shooter and can make up for some of that lack of power with an insanely quick release. Gray's best attribute, however, is his vision. Watch this speed. This shouldn't be possible. That's like a 35-yard pass in transition, and it's perfectly on target for his teammate to bury it with time and room. Overall, I like Gray's style. He's not the most physically imposing player, but he's so shifty and never off balance. Up next, I have a player who's a bit more eager to sacrifice his body. The name Kavanagh says it all. Last year, as only a sophomore, Pat followed in his older brother Matt's footsteps by becoming a Tewaaraton finalist. Maybe this year he one-ups his big bro and wins it. Kavanagh has a really fun tape to watch. He's an extremely high-energy playmaker. It's hard to think of a single player who's a bigger emotional spark plug than he is for Notre Dame. He likes to isolate at X and dodge with a full head of steam. He keeps his eyes up and always finishes strong. Kavanagh also has this innate sense to always be in the right place at the right time. He's often creeping up around GLE, and that helps him capitalize on a lot of rebounds and garbage goal opportunities. Look at this play, where he snags a loose ball out of the air, works through some traffic, and finishes between the legs before getting laid out. That's backyard lax you simply cannot teach. The only knock on Kavanagh is his efficiency. Last year, his shot percentage was below 30%. To make up for that style, he requires a high volume of scoring opportunities. And speaking of scoring opportunities, this next guy should have plenty. Logan Wisnauskas is in prime position as Maryland's new number 1. The Terps have produced 2 of the past 4 Tewaaraton winners, and Wisnauskas could be next. Wisnauskas will do the majority of his damage from the lefty wing. He's a dangerous sniper with a long frame and long arms that add a ton of velocity to his shot. While the Maryland offense definitely runs through him, Wisnauskas is rarely the initiator. He's not the most mobile playmaker and functions best when his teammates can get the defense moving for him. Most of his assists come when he finds a cutting teammate or when he's working the point and man up. He is savvy enough to create space and dish or put the stick in his right hand and finish, but he's not necessarily the isolation dodger you want driving to the rack with the game on the line. Ultimately, Wisnauskas is going to score a ton of points and provide invaluable leadership for a team that's trying to make a title run this season. Then there's the dudes who have been there, done that, like this next guy. Talk about an attackman who plays chess to everyone else's checkers, that's Connor Shellenberger. He's got the all-around ability to be in the conversation for the best player in the country this season. Schellenberger can go right or left and looks comfortable either way. He can go to work from X, or he can invert and initiate offense from up top. It's almost like Schellenberger can see the game unfold in slow motion. Take this play, for example, where he thinks for a moment about taking the shot himself, then decides to dump it off to a teammate for a higher percentage opportunity. Or this one, where he waits and waits and waits for the play to develop, then dishes to his teammate for a shot on the doorstep. Schellenberger's ability to manipulate the defense is really unmatched in college lacrosse. He's not going to dodge to the goal with his hair on fire like Kavanagh, but he's the perfect quarterback for Virginia's offense. The only factor that may hurt Schellenberger's Tewaaraton chances is that he's way more of a feeder than a pure goal scorer. He's not even among the top 5 players on his own team in terms of shots taken so far this season. What do you say we wrap up this list with somebody who's pretty much the polar opposite? When he's in the zone, Brennan ONeill is the closest thing to a cheat code in college lacrosse. Most athletes his size, who move like he does, typically carve out careers on the football field. Needless to say, ONeill is simply built different. I mean, look at this. It's just unfair. When ONeill senses a matchup, he turns into a bully and flashes his way to the front of the net. He also has an absolute cannon. No one is stopping this shot. Come on. ONeill is, at this point, a little bit of a one-trick pony. Physical defenses have given him some trouble, and he's not a polished distributor just yet. But if you don't have a specific defensive game plan for him, ONeill will likely dominate his matchup and score at will. Usually the Tewaaraton Award goes to an upperclassman, so ONeill is a bit of a long shot as a true sophomore. Even if he's not a finalist this season, he'll get another shot at this award before he graduates. Alright, those are my top 5 candidates to win this year's Tewaaraton Award. Let me know who I snubbed in the comments section. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also stay tuned for my weekly power rankings over at lax.com. Until then, get off your screen, get on the wall.